Without her, I don't think I would have been where I am, Marvel and DC. I won 2 competitions that day, so I didn't want to do what everyone else does. Indian food, hands down. Just not focus on one thing, because then you're limited.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to the CSI Show. I'm Gaurav, the money man of CSI SFIT.
And you all know me, I'm Niharika, and we are your hosts for this episode.
So you all must be guessing who's going to be joining us today.
So, our guest today is a 20-year-old award winning photographer and filmmaker based in Falmouth, UK.
He has 9 photography awards, including Nature's Best Africa Young Photographer of the Year 2017.
His work has been published in well known magazines such as BBC Wild, Nat Geo Kids, Sanctuary Asia, Video Planet Photo, and more.
A friend of mine since grade 6. Please welcome Pradyuman Samant.
Yay!
So how have you been? It's been a long time.
It has, yes. I've been fine. I mean, keeping busy during lockdown and this pandemic. That's what's probably everyone's doing right now, just keeping busy.
What's a typical day been like for you in the lockdown?
Oh, I don't think you guys want to hear this. Okay, so my typical day would be waking up super late.
Perfect.
Not inspiring at all, but yeah, waking up super late, then watching Netflix while breakfast, then trying to learn something new, then checking my emails. Basically just learning new things in the afternoon session. I've actually started watching a lot more movies ever since lockdown started, because I think of it as inspiration to watch it and then learn something out of it. I just like watching it. It teaches me a lot, but then it's in my head it's I'm learning something. That's
What
the reason
kind of movies are you watching?
A lot of things like experimental stuff, then action, horror. I like horror. Then a lot of random comedies that Netflix makes. They don't make any sense, but I really like them. So a lot of superhero stuff like Marvel and DC. I'm super into that. So yeah.
That's obvious. That's a necessity in today's world if you're not watching a superhero
Exactly.
movie. Even if you like DC, it's fine. I'll accept your existence in the world, but
I like
you
both.
have to watch
I like
something.
both. It's
there we go.
superhero. It's not like DC versus Marvel. It's superhero.
Diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
How you got into the photography and videography field? What were your first equipment, stuff like that?
Okay, so let's back up a bit to when I was 11 years old. I was super into cricket, and my parents supported that crazy passion of mine. So I used to, I think Gaurav knows this, I used to go to marine lines to practice after my school. And then suddenly I had this weird, realization that I'm not that great at cricket. So I need to change tracks, So we used to always go to safari parks as a family for any holiday, because my parents are super into the nature and wildlife. And we were in Jim Corbett, and that's the first time I picked up a camera. And my dad didn't allow me to actually use the camera during the safari, but when we went back to the hotel, he just let me use it. And I was just taking pictures in the backyard. And then he was like, yeah, how do you know so much about this? Because you've never used a camera. I was like, I just happen to know. What? But yeah, slowly I started learning of YouTube, internet, and then my parents decided to send me to a all kids safari camp in Bangalore. My dad basically bought me a new camera after that, just so I don't touch his camera. So yeah, I basically started with a super basic equipment, which was a Canon 500D.
Mm-hmm.
I did my Bangalore trip with the 500D. And then my dad bought me a starting grade photography camera, which was a Canon 60D. I've used it for years and years. And then before going to Falmouth, he bought me a Canon 1DX, which was like proper professional camera. But I usually rented equipment, so it was kind of easy that way because I didn't want to do what I did with cricket, like buy everything and then be like, yeah, I'm not going to use it. You can't do that in photography. Equipment is expensive as hell, so
Quite a lot.
renting. Yeah.
Okay, so I just spoke out in the intro that your work has been published a lot. So what was it like when you heard, like for the first time, your work being published?
It was actually crazy because I had no idea I submitted anything to anyone, but my mom was sneakily doing the work for me. Without her, I don't think I would have been where I am because she did all the work. Like she sent entries to competitions, she sent entries to magazines, everything. She even opened a different Facebook account just to post my photos. So yeah, she did all the work and she was like, yeah, you're published now. That actually feels amazing because, you know, like when you're a kid, you've just started out and your work gets published in like a local wildlife magazine. Like I think my first publish was in Sanctuary Asia Cubs, which was the kids version of Sanctuary Asia Adult, I guess. So yeah, that was like a massive achievement because that was like a full 3-page spread, like on a trip I did in Cambodia, I think. So yeah, that was awesome. I bought like 10 magazines for myself and just to keep it. I still have them lying around somewhere in the house. I gave them to friends at school as well because I was like, yeah, you know, guys, I might not be good at studies, but I'm published, you know. But yeah, so that's how it was. It's amazing.
For all the viewers who are watching, if they say Mama knows best, they're probably true.
Mama does know best.
Because it works. It works for you.
It worked. It worked. Yes.
Mama knows best.
So, you know, compared to that, how did you feel when you won the Nature's Best Photography Award?
I still remember this day because it was on my sister's birthday when I got that email. We were out for dinner with family. I got home and my mom, like my mom does, she kept track on my emails. She checked the emails and she was like, you won this. I was like, won what? Because I don't remember anything. Because at that time we were sending entries day and night to competitions because I was loving it. I used to just edit images, hand it over to my mom, and she would just submit it everywhere. So yeah, we were doing that. So she was like, yeah, you won this. And that was, I think, close to when I was leaving for Falmouth as well. So I think I won 2 competitions that day. One was, I think, Oasis or something, and Nature's Best. And that was the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me ever since I started photography. So I was super excited. I got to go to South Africa to receive the award. And yeah, it was absolutely awesome.
So what would you say was the biggest challenge that you faced being in this field?
I think the pressure, I don't know, because so I started doing it at a very young age and not a lot of kids did this when they were like 11. So it was always like Pradyuman has to be good at so-and-so thing because he set up this benchmark and now I can't go here, I go here, you know? So I had to always do something different to keep people interested in my work, which was super hard when I got to Falmouth because at that stage, when I got to Falmouth, I realized that what I've done is what people are starting right now on the course. I was like, I don't want to lose interest in this because I love this. But if people teach me what I've taught myself from the age of 11, it's just going to make me lose interest in it. So I had to constantly up my game and just do better. That was like the hardest thing, like maintaining that level of greatness in my work. Yeah, I have to please people and enjoy it at the same time, which was super hard to manage.
You know, when you told your parents about your interest in photography for the first time, how are they? Like supportive, not so supportive? In the very first
I think I'm super lucky to have like awesome parents that support all my crazy dreams. They've always forced like me to just do it, don't think about it. I remember talking to my dad telling me to buy a certain thing, like a camera thing. And I was like, that's super expensive. I don't want to buy that. Dad's like, you've started it, so you might as well just get it, They funded all my crazy ideas. It's worked for both of us, like all of us, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Respect to Prady's parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you are watching this, thank you.
Okay, so what is the
Yeah.
best piece of advice that you've received as a photographer? Like something that like completely changed your game or like blew your mind?
Don't focus on others' work. Like if you focus too much on an image that this guy took at this safari park, you want to create it, you're probably going to lose everything else that you can create yourself. So like that guy might have spent like 5 to 10 years to get that shot. You're just getting inspired by one guy and just blindly following what he's done in 5 years. You haven't seen those 5 years struggle, right? You want to create that in one trip. You can't do it. So yeah, just do what you can and not just follow people blindly and just try to copy them, basically.
So, you've made Sundarbans moving forward. So,
Yeah.
the video. So, what was your inspiration for that?
Okay, before he answers, I want to give a little context. I think that was your final year project.
Yeah.
Yes, so that was his final year project. I'll insert a clip after this, links in the description to everything he does.
Okay. So basically, ever since I started wildlife photography, I've been following it ever since I started. And I always wanted to do a trip to Sundarbans, but I was always doing something else. Like I found something else that was easier, because Sundarbans is not an easy place to go at and get access to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can go on like the boat cruise, but you can't really go on foot unless you have special permits. So I didn't want to do what everyone else does, like, go on a boat safari, see a few deers and come back. No. If you're going to Sundarbans, you got to like have all of it and capture the entire essence of Sundarbans. When it came to my final year project, I knew I wanted to do a film and not a photo project, because we had a choice. We could have done anything. I was like, yeah, I want to do a film. So I had two options. It was either snow leopards or Sundarbans. And I chose Sundarbans just because I felt like the story isn't out yet. For snow leopards, there have been so many documentaries done and done so well. So it was like super hard to compete, because I was like a one-man crew. Like I didn't have any special equipment. I just had my camera, my gimbal, and I was rolling with it. No specialist equipment. So it was a tough call, but then I thought it would be easier for me to, convey a story that hasn't been conveyed yet, because then there's less to compare your work with.
Yeah.
So yeah, my inspiration was basically just lack of knowledge on Sundarbans, and I just wanted to get the story out.
We know you went to Falmouth. So what exactly was your major and how was the experience being there?
It was awesome. Like I would go back in a heartbeat. I didn't want it to end. Going to Falmouth as a 17-year-old, just moving countries alone, was the hardest bit. Like getting used to Falmouth, because Falmouth is like a small town at the end of UK, right? So getting used to like a small town was hard, because in Mumbai, like shops close at like 12 a.m. Half of them like run after 12 a.m. At Falmouth, stuff closes at 5 p.m.
Oh, crap.
That was hard.
That's so good.
I forgot to mention this. I did my bachelor's in marine and natural history photography. So
Yeah.
I went there solely to learn underwater photography. But I came out knowing and having more interest in filmmaking and videography.
So, when you were in Farmhouse, what did you miss about India? Did you feel like homesick or something?
Indian food, hands down, hands down. You literally not beat that, can you? Like I still remember we did a takeout night. So we were at my house and all my we were sitting and we had people over and we were like, we're gonna get Indian takeout. We ordered it. It arrived. And I had they were like, Pradi, you're gonna, start this because you're Indian, you can judge it better. I was like, why is that restaurant calling itself an Indian restaurant? This is nowhere close to Indian. It's just basically them putting chili in everything. That's not Indian food. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, know the basics, man. Know the basics. I was so pissed that night because we just basically wasted a lot of money thinking it was going to be Indian food. It wasn't even close to Indian food. Sorry.
As you told us a few minutes ago that you were super into marine photography and then you went to Falmouth and it like broadened your horizons, if I may say. So right now, how would you describe your style of photography?
I'm not completely wildlife or marine at this point. I'm just a photographer and videographer. Obviously photographer first because I've been doing it for a really long time. Videography is fairly new to me, but I enjoy doing it more than photography. I wouldn't categorize myself as any sort of photographer or videographer. I am a photographer and videographer, but I do all of it, not one thing. Just not focus on one thing because then you're limited. Like if you need a wildlife photographer, you'd hire me. But if Gaurav needs a wedding photographer, he won't hire me. That's limiting my, audience. So
I think we've had quite an intense conversation up until now. A lot of deep work stuff and stuff. So let's switch this up a little bit. We'll play a little game. Okay. It's pretty simple. Just what comes to your mind when I say blank.
So the one in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, right?
Yes.
That Farhan
yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah.
I know the drill. Ask.
Gaurav, you want to take the first one?
Okay, sure. Exposure.
Ooh, reality. Does that make sense?
People who are watching, comment down below what do you think he means.
Yeah, what do you think? Like theorize this. Come on.
Next word, focus.
Determination.
The first thing came into my mind was studies.
see, this is why you're good at studies and I'm not.
I like how both of you are in that track of mine. I'm like, these are all photography related words. I'm thinking, exposure on a camera, focus, lens.
No, that's never gonna happen because the thing is, the more you do something, the less you think about it. It just happens.
So the next word is preset.
Okay, preset. Oh, Lightroom. That is because I recently got into Lightroom in lockdown because I had no idea how to use it.
What did you use before?
I'm a Photoshop user. I don't use Lightroom at all. Yeah, exactly. I don't use Lightroom. So, but I had to get into Lightroom and create presets for my filters because that's the only way I could work around it. So I was like, yeah, you know what? It's time I learn Lightroom now. So, yeah.
Next word, vibrant.
Saturation. See, now it's all photography. Damn it.
Okay, the next one, really think about it. The last word, really think about it, okay?
Okay, I'll think about it.
Raw.
Oh my God, no. Okay, I'm not going to say the first thing that comes to my head because that would be camera related. Raw. Smackdown. WWE, come on.
I think the next question is going to bring us in the zone way too quick.
Oh, okay.
So, in all your time working as a photographer and videographer, what do you think is your best shot? Best piece of work?
Ooh, okay. I would say it has to be the cheetah silhouette shot that won me awards. Because that was something that was planned. We planned that shot. Like that was our last trip as well. And if you go to Masai Mara, you know how many, you basically get bored looking at cheetahs at the end of the trip. Just so many. So you're like, what different can I do with this? Because, I've seen a cheetah, I've got the basic shots, I've got creative shots. What now? You got to one up the creative, right? Yeah. So it was our last morning, and I just like the story behind it. This is why I would say it's my best piece of work. We were like, you know what? Instead of resting in the morning, we'll just go, for a last safari. We were the only Jeep watching the cheetahs because everyone else was like, yeah, no, I'm not having it. We'll look for something else, but not cheetahs because there's a lot of them. So yeah, we had our time. So what happened was we just saw the sun rising. So we were like, you know what, let's go against the light. And we basically just drove against the light. And when I clicked my first shot, I was like, yeah, that's cool. So in camera, I had Amit Rane with me. He was like, try shifting the temperature. And we just started experimenting with temperature, like go super cold, go super warm. And we just found the perfect one. And it just worked for us. He has some sick images. And he's like my landscape guru. Like he's taught me everything. So yeah, it worked for us. And we just got it done there and there in the camera. Like not a lot of work went into editing that photo because it was just awesome right out of the camera.
That's awesome. So what do you think will be a long-term goal?
Ooh. Okay, I've always said this. I also mentioned it in like a lot of interviews I did for Founders. Long-term goal would be working for a production house that produces stuff for Netflix or Apple TV, or Amazon Prime as well. It's all of the streaming sites basically. So yeah, because I see after going to Falmouth, I really got into videography, and I just want to pursue that and keep wildlife photography as something I do for myself. A firm position in a production house or something. I would love that because creating content every day, right? Whereas for BBC, it's like creating one documentary and then not creating anything for like 10 years because they've got like backups of backups of backups. So if one videographer doesn't check out, they've got like 5 more lined up. Makes sense, right?
Would you consider starting your own production company?
That's already in works. I mean, not in works. It's already in the thinking stage because me and my housemates always spoke about this, like work with a production house for like 5 years and then create your own company. So I've already worked with the production house for a year. I got 4 more years to go. Then we've got my company. Yeah, when I was in Falmouth, I did part-time with Sharkwave Films. They are the local production house in Port Leven. It's a town near Falmouth. So yeah, they're like they've done documentaries for Nat Geo and stuff as well. So I worked as a second call cameraman and editor, which was awesome. My company will be there in 5 years.
So, there are a lot of people, younger people who are trying to become photographers or videographers now. So what advice would you give them?
See, I'd give them the same advice I give everyone. Just don't focus on equipment, focus on the knowledge, because people usually get stuck on, yeah, you know what, if I had that camera, I'd be a sick photographer. No, sir, that's wrong. If you had that knowledge, you'd be a sick photographer. And that knowledge is easy to get nowadays. Like there's so many YouTubers teaching you so many things. Learn as much as you can and don't focus on equipment, because equipment will come. As soon as you get better, as soon as you see results, you'll know what equipment to buy, right? You don't start with the best, you start with the basic and work your way to the best. Knowledge is key. Damn, I sound like Yoda.
You sound like a wise old man now.
I know, right? When did that happen?
So we've come to our last question. Do you have like a dream person or a dream company you would want to work with someday?
Yeah.
Apple. Definitely. Like they've got like really sick content. Like their watch advert for the one that they did for the new watch series. How awesome that was that? Like who thought of that? I want to know the thought process that goes behind everything that Apple does.
The adverts are pretty awesome.
Exactly. Like every time I see an iPhone or an iWatch ad, it's just like, you know what? Let's buy that. And then you see the price tag. And then you're like, you know what? Never mind. See, this is why I want to work with them because I'll get stuff for free.
Yeah.
Good thinking, right?
Apple give us jobs.
Exactly.
Apple give us equipment.
Fun.
We are ready.
We'll do anything you want. Just supply us with equipment and jobs. You want to not supply the world with phones, just the boxes? You go for it. We won't judge.
Yes, because even the boxes are so good.
Us.
Like, can we just talk about the boxes?
Yeah, I know, right? They are like when you like open like the iPhone box, like just do that. Yeah. It's just so satisfying.
It like slides out so well.
It's just so satisfying. Like, yeah, exactly.
I don't even care about what's inside. That was fulfilling. Okay, before we continue, let's just get it over with the whole outro and stuff. Gaurav.
Okay.
So, thank you so much for being here with us. We had a lot of fun with you. I hope you had the same.
And to all the viewers who are watching, thank you so much for watching. We will be back in another week or so with somebody
else.
Somebody much cooler than me. Yes.
Yeah. So be sure to like, subscribe.
Gaurav just agreed with you. Gaurav, I know he's your
friend, right?
But he's also a guest. We'll be back in the next week the week after that with somebody else. Who is cooler or not, you decide. Okay, we have this thing that we do just before we end it. Okay, it's like we have this hashtag motto kind of thing. We just say make it happen.
All right.
Okay, so all of us, if we agree, all of us together, we can do it. It's probably not going to end up like how we want because internet.
Yeah, wait. Are we supposed to say hashtag make it happen or just make it happen?
Do the hashtag and just say make it happen.
Like that. Fair enough. I can do that. Yes.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
Make
it
happen. We did it! Yes!
Oh my god.
See, that wasn't that hard. I mean,
yeah, right?
Except for
somebody tries.
Like, yeah, we deserve an award for this. I mean,
yeah.
Just for that.
We're just the best, you know.
Thank you all of the viewers. Thank you so much for coming in here and watching the second episode of the CSI show. We hope you enjoyed this and we hope you stick around because episodes that are coming after this are also as lit as
so
this.
Awesome.
We've got some really awesome stuff lined up for you.
So be sure to like, share, subscribe and comment on who you want next. Until next time, go ahead and make it happen.
Three, 2, 1.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. What the hell?
None of us said it. Oh my god.
We completely botched it. Like, yeah, like you were right.
It's
not going to work out the way we think it is.
I have a better.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Go on.
We'll go one by one. There are 3 words and 3 people. So 3 of us can say
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Gaurav, you say make. I'll say it. You say happen.
Sure.
All right. Let's do that.
Okay. 3,
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Make it. Sorry.
You had 1 job and 1 word.
So sorry.
You had one job. Okay, how are we so... No, we can't be this bad at this. Okay, we gotta like, okay, well,
Come on.
game face. Yeah? Okay, let's go.
3, 2, 1.